that. I think patience is what needs to kind of overflow in abundance with us. And so I want to talk about patience on this today in our upside. And so for today, for patience, we understand people think of patience means it just means waiting, right? Wait, 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 wait. But it is the ability to endure difficult situations or people with the right attitude, right? It's the endurance of something. And so if we think about patience, because again, we always think about waiting, but it's really to endure difficult situations or people with the right attitude, which is an interesting spin on that because we always think about wait, patience, wait, wait, wait. But sometimes it's the opportunity for us to think about some things, right? I always think about that when we are patient, we're being more responsive than we are reacting, right? Being very reactive, and so sometimes things happen, and without patience, we just go right in. So that's being reactive to something. But when we're responsive to something, we're really practicing our patience because we're giving it a moment to step back, take a deep breath, and think about what our next move is, our strategy. So we're being responsive to a situation. We're not going to react to it, but we're going to be responsive. And that happens because we have a sense of patience in us. That's one of the fruit of the spirits, patience. And so when we're patient enough, we're able to be more responsive and more reflective. And then that allows us to handle a situation different. Joyce Meyer says patience is more than waiting, but the ability to have a good attitude in the waiting, right? And so if we're waiting, we're not rushed, we're not active, we're not just doing things. But when we're patient, we're responsive, we're reflective, and we're strategizing what our next move is, right? It's the attitude in the middle of patience. So we are in our patient season and our waiting season, then we understand that we're going to have to wait on some things. It's what's happening with us in the waiting. That's what the real thing is. What's happening with us in the waiting. So where we're waiting on a thing, if we're being patient on our breakthrough, if we're being patient on our next job, our next boo, our next season, what are we doing in the season of waiting? Right? And so I want to suggest that we be reflective, that we're thinking about some things. We're looking at our perspective and our perception in the waiting. So we get impatient because we don't understand what we're waiting on, right? We don't understand why we gotta wait. And some of us have a problem with patience. I know my patience is a little thin. I'm probably more patient with kids than I am adults, but it's sometimes I gotta take a deep breath because I'll be like, why am I tripping? What is happening? And so sometimes I have to think about that, I have to take a step back and consider what is happening in this waiting season, right? So while we are being patient, let's be reflective, right? When we being patient, let's start looking on some internalized things that's causing us to react when we should just be responsive. So let's look at us in this waiting season in our lives as we are trying to endure patience, because they said patience brings about endurance, which brings about character, or brings about perseverance. And so all that in James 1 tells us what patience does. And so we have to be practicing patience. So in our waiting season, it's a season in which we're waiting. We have to figure that out. Thank you again. Have a wonderful